Hey everybody, welcome to Crackback Tuesday number 162 on the Mana Leek. I'm John as always, and we've got Lily here for another pack of Core Set 2019. We're going to crack this open, see what's in it, and see what we would take. Pack one, pick one if this was a draft. Now this is a sponsored draft. If you go on over to the Patreon at patreon.com/manaleek and you become a backer at the $5 level and above, you can get your chance to get all the cards in this pack each week, or none of the cards, some of the cards, whatever you want. This week, it is Jan's pack, so I'll be contacting Jan and seeing if they want any of these cards. If we get something of value. We've not hit anything of value for a while, which is about my luck. I'm sure many of the longtime viewers remember the 430 packs it took to get my first masterpiece, something like that. Anyways, up first we've got ourselves a Goblin Motivator, a single red mana for a creature Goblin Warrior. It's a 1/1. Tap it to give target creature you control haste. Or sorry, not you control. You could give an opponent's creature haste, I suppose. It's solid in the red-white deck. It's never, ever, ever a first pick, but the second you know you're in red-white, you want yourself one of these, maybe even two. Up next is Trusty Pack Beast. Trusty Pack Beast is 2 and a white for a creature beast. It's a 2/3. When Trusty Pack Beast ETBs, return target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. It's not good. It's just not good. Artifacts don't go to the graveyard enough, and the ones that do aren't really that impactful, and a 3 mana 2/3 is not very good. So I'm never playing this card, and I'm never picking it. Up next is Gearsmith Prodigy. Gearsmith Prodigy is a single blue mana for a creature human artificer. It's a 1/2. It gets +1/+0 as long as you control an artifact. So, it's still not good. It's a 2/2 for 2 if you drop a 2-drop artifact. Otherwise, it's a 1/2 on turn 2, which is still super mediocre. This card just is not a good enough payoff. There are serious payoffs for the blue-white artifact deck. This is very not one of them. Even in the blue-white artifact deck, I don't want to play this card. Certainly not a first pick. Up next is Child of Night. Child of Night is 1 and a black for a creature vampire with lifelink. It's a 2/1. I love Child of Night, always have since I first started back into Magic around M13 days, or I guess around M12 days. It's good. It's really good. It's a 2/1 for 2. It's a piker, but it's got lifelink, which makes it way more relevant. It's never a first pick, but I'm typically pretty happy to play the first one. Up next is Titanic Growth. Titanic Growth is 1 and a green for an instant. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. It's a combat trick. It's an okay combat trick, especially on a Trampler. Throw this on a Dreadmaw and get in with a 10/10 trample. That's infinitely better than Gigantosaurus. Yeah, it's a fine combat trick. You will know if you have a spot to play this, and if you don't, you do not feel sad throwing it away. So not a first pick ever, sometimes pretty cuttable. Skeleton Archer is a very good card. 3 and a black for a creature, Skeleton Archer. It's a 3/3. When Skeleton Archer ETBs, deal 1 damage to any target. So you can kill your opponent's Child of Night or whatever. You can kill their Gearsmith Prodigy after it's taken a damage from something else in combat. You can just deal 1 to the face should you want. And if you get lucky and you've got a Death Baron, this is just a Ravenous Chupacabra. It's a good card. It's not a card that I'd be super excited about first picking. It's currently the first pick in this pack, but hopefully the pack gets better. But I'm pretty happy playing the first Skeleton Archer, sometimes the second. If I've got a Death Baron, the third and fourth. Up next is Thornhide Wolves. Thornhide Wolves is 4 and a green for a creature wolf. It's a 4/5. That's it. There's nothing else going on here. This is expensive. For 1 more mana, we can get a 6/6 trample in Colossal Dreadmaw, also at common. So Thornhide Wolves just doesn't really see play that often. It does block really well, but you're green. You just want to stomp things. So this is never a first pick, but it should get cut pretty regularly regardless. I think this is probably our first pick at the moment. Pegasus Courser is 2 and a white for a creature Pegasus. It's a flyer. It's a 1/3. When it attacks, another attacking creature gets flying as well. It's a good card. It's just really good. In any sort of white aggressive deck, this just gets in for more damage because suddenly your 2/2 that's outclassed gets to fly. Or in something like a blue-white artifacts deck, your Gearsmith Guardian suddenly has wings, which it should not. Pegasus Courser is just good. It's super duper solid, and it's currently our first pick. Smelt doesn't kick it out. Smelt is a single red mana for an instant destroy target artifact. Sideboard only, and mediocre sideboard at that. You know, we don't have Icy Manipulator running around at this set. I just have an Icy Manipulator laying around for some reason. There's the sword. That's really the only reason I'd ever side this in. Maybe against a Gearsmith Guardian if I saw like 3 of them. But yeah, it's a sideboard card and a bad one at that. Well, here's another potential first pick, another 1/3. Druid of the Cowl, 1 and a green for a creature elf druid, 1/3, tap, add green. It's good, it's rampy, it blocks like crazy. It's just a very good card and certainly first pickable. I'd be happy to have this in my deck. I'd be happy to go into ramp, especially because I haven't yet. Like at all. I want to. I feel like a lot of people are going into it though, so I don't get to have a chance to try it. But it's certainly a first pick for this pack. On to the uncommons. Yep, that's on par. There's no foil in this pack. Gift of Paradise. Gift of Paradise is 2 and a green for an enchantment aura at uncommon enchant land. When Gift of Paradise ETBs, you gain 3 life, and that land now taps for 2 of any one color. Gift of Paradise is okay. If you're ramping, great. If you're fixing for a 3-color dragon or something, great. But it's never a first pick. You're going to pick this when you already know that you want it due to what else you have. But it's not ever going to be in your discussion for pack 1, pick 1. Arcane Encyclopedia. Arcane Encyclopedia is 3 generic mana for an artifact. Pay 3 generic mana. Tap. Draw a card. This card's solid in sealed. In draft, it's really hard to justify putting this much mana into drawing a card. You just don't quite have that much time, especially with red-white running around quite so much. So I don't think Arcane Encyclopedia is a first pick. In sealed, solid. Draft, not so much. Our final uncommon is Colossal Majesty. Colossal Majesty is 2 and a green for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw yourself a card. This card's pretty solid from what I've seen. Again, I've not played the ramp deck. Everybody else plays it. Everybody else gets Colossal Majesties. So I haven't had a chance to truly experience this myself, but my understanding, my experience, having seen it on the other side of the board, is that it's pretty darn solid. You have to build around it, but it's pretty darn solid. I think we can definitely consider it as a first pick. And our rare is the other card that goes in this archetype, Sarkhan's Unsealing. Sarkhan's Unsealing is enchantment. Whew, let's pull this a little bit closer to me. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 4, 5, or 6, Sarkhan's Unsealing deals 4 damage to any target. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 7 or greater, Sarkhan's Unsealing deals 4 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. Sarkhan's Unsealing is great if you successfully build around it. You do have to successfully build around it. You need to get your super big, beefy creatures so that you can start picking off creatures or just dealing 4 to the face as well. It's also a thing that you can do. And then, man, if you do drop a 7-power creature, just basically probably wrathing the majority of the board, is really, really good. Obviously, sucks to see Sarkhan's Unsealing with Colossal Majesty because that's going to put 2 players into that deck probably pretty close to each other, so that's super unfortunate. But remember, you're only getting 1 pack from the person on your right. Sending signals doesn't matter in pack 1. You should not bother caring about that. Reading signals in pack 1 is important. Sending doesn't matter. So I'm on Sarkhan's Unsealing here, mostly because I want to give it a try. I've definitely heard that it can be quite good. You have to get there. Obviously, if you're, at the end of pack 1 and you still haven't picked up a big creature, maybe you should look at heading into something else. But if you can get there, this card does some serious work. Anyways, let me know what you would have taken. Would you have taken Sarkhan's Unsealing, the Colossal Majesty? Would you have tried to send some signals and taken the Pegasus Courser instead, or the Arcane Encyclopedia? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at the Mana Leek. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at facebook.com/ShamanALeek, twitch.tv/ShamanALeek, and patreon.com/ShamanALeek. If you like the content, click that thumbs up button. Click subscribe if you want to see more. And if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.